Yo, what's up, Mark?
What's up, Lucas? How's it going? You ready?
Man, I'm always ready for this podcast. So I think this week we have some great topics. So, Mark, what do you want to jump in with? Mine or your topic?
All right, I want to talk about again the big green. I know we've talked about him or the company a lot. We're talking about Nvidia. They are fucking killing it lately. So everyone that is not aware of what or who Nvidia is, basically it is a company that is producing GPUs and recently has been in the news a lot for creating all the GPUs that are used for artificial intelligence. And they're fucking killing it right now. They also have not only hardware, they also produce software. So they just released a software that they called Eureka. Basically, Eureka is a software that enables AI to create code for itself. And
Damn.
exactly, so it can teach itself even better. And this code is already 80% better, in 80% of the cases better than written by any human.
Can
So
you choose the language in which you should write, or is it specific one?
no, it's just it's just I don't know what it doesn't know what language it is written in, but it's pretty cool. So it's a learning model that helps it perform better tasks and learn things. I don't know, either motoric skills or anything else that is new. It can learn much faster by this algorithm, which I found fascinating.
Man,
And because this is a business podcast as well, I want to talk about jumping into some of the financials. So Nvidia stock, a year from now, last year, it was at $125 per share. What do you think it is
yeah,
right now?
135. So it must be like double, like 230,
Okay,
which is
okay, okay.
already
All right.
insane.
And AMD stock, a year from last year at this date was 59. What are both values?
So, for those people who don't know what AMD is, AMD is also chip producer. So they're both known for GPU producing.
Mm-hmm.
And AMD, I think they didn't make a big move yet for AI chips. So when it's like 50 something, so I'm assuming it's like maybe 80, or because 80 is already a lot too, right? That means they grew over 50%. And yeah, Mark, give me the numbers.
All right. So also you have to consider last year that everything had went down for a little bit, so that wasn't
Yeah.
their max peak at that point. But so Nvidia was at 125, now it is at 431. This date it
Ooh-wee.
peaked at 460, and AMD stocks is from 59 to 101. It's exactly the reason because they have not made a big move like Nvidia did in terms of GPUs for AI, and because that is now the biggest. It's a mega trend. So fucking insane. So I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was just super cool. Two things: the hardware that they're doing is amazing, and now also some of the software. And there's another thing: they also teamed up with a different company that's also producing GPUs, and they want to create the biggest GPU manufacturing plant facility for AI.
Which one is it, Mark? Do you remember?
Eurocom or something like that.
But okay, Mark, just jumping in there, I think is really, really interesting because like most people might be like, why is like Nvidia, how did it come with AI and everything? And just like from a gamer perspective, I think it's very, very interesting because if you've seen over the last, I don't know, probably 5 years already, they always had the option to render up, right? So basically you play in 720 or like in 1080 and it would render up the game to 4K, right?
Yeah.
That has been already around for a long, long time, and that is basically based on AI. Those rendering or up rendering or upscaling, which is super cool because in the end it's just like it's not more or not much more loading for the GPU or like power that it consumes, but it just makes the game look so much nicer, which is super, super insane if you think about it. Because like 4K is, as a gamer, like like if you get 30 FPS, 60 FPS, that would have been nice. And yeah, that's super, super cool. Just a background there from a gamer perspective.
So also so Nvidia partnered up with Foxconn. Sorry, I said Eurocon, but I meant Foxconn. So they partnered up
Ah,
and they're gonna create a mega factory just for that. It's gonna be insane.
but Foxconn is also with Apple, right? They were producing the chips for the iPhones back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, so
So yeah, exactly. They're well. they're trying to partner up, and we'll see what. I think they want to build this in the US though, because for those people who don't know, a lot of chips are usually produced right now in Taiwan. That's also why it is such an important piece in the world, super important country, and that's why there is a lot of tension around this country as well. Because who
It's,
controls silicon controls the world.
oh yeah, for sure.
All
No,
right,
it's
Lucas, what do you got though for us though? Come on.
all right. I mean, my topic, we're still sticking with AI, but we're not building chips. We're building something with chips, right? So my topic is more about humanoids. So in the other podcast, we talked about humanoids. I think it's like 10, 15 episodes back. But actually 4 days ago, Amazon released their first humanoid in a warehouse. So just to let me quickly share my screen, which is like for those people so they can see humanoid. So as you can see here, you have a humanoid in the Amazon warehouse. It looks like, I don't know, like a Heuschreck, what do they call it? Like a cricket,
Grasshopper.
a grasshopper, or a cricket. And yeah, I mean, they don't do much yet. They can just like lift the yellow box, just walks around, brings it to another one. Look, he lifts it up, and oh boy, here we go, little man. You can do it. You can do it.
So, you know what? Sometimes I wonder when I see this kind of thing is does it really make sense to have humanoids? Because the complexity is so much greater than other robots in terms of, I don't know, can you not structure something different to make it better, more
So
efficient?
the problem is not whether the human body is most efficient, but it's more that the world is designed for the human body, right? So we designed the world to fit the human body. That's why the humanoid is taking on that form. For example, you see other like robots, for example, with car parking, etc. Right? They're like just sleds that just move the cars. But as soon as it's something task that humans doing right now, you need humanoids, and that's I think super interesting because then another AI slash humanoid company is it's Figure, and I saw an interview with the founder on My First Million. I thought it was super interesting because they were talking about like how this
Yeah, I
will
saw that one.
like how it will replace a lot of like human labor. And then it's like the question came up, which is like, yeah, but isn't that really bad for humanity? Because like a lot of jobs will be lost and etc. But
Yeah.
then if you actually go like boots on the ground and actually talk to the people who have warehouses, the biggest problem that they're having is turnover, right? Because nobody wants to work in a warehouse where it's super cold in winter and super hot in summer. Like you have like yearly turnovers of 50 to 100%.
So
So
turnover, Lucas means in the sense that the employees that are working in the company, they're just churning out. So that means they're quitting. They're just like,
yeah.
hey, after a year, couple months, they're just going out like 50 to 100%. That means whoever the staff was last year is not going to be in the staff anymore next year, like with
Oh
a
yeah.
very high guarantee.
And also they have like a 15% daily like people who just like sick or anything. And with robots, you don't have that issue, right? Um, so that's like a very interesting trend. I mean, we've seen it anyways already that Amazon warehouses have all those little robots like running around like Star Wars. You know,
Yeah.
when you see that. But I think the next step will be definitely humanoids. I mean, you've seen in the video they're very still clunky, but you can then expand it not only to all those labors, like for example, like in warehouses, but also imagine at home, right? So it could be doing all the chores, etc. So you can just like rent somebody because like they will be costing like the founder said it will cost between 20K to 30K. One of those robots. Same the Tesla Optimus probably costs around 20K to build. So
I
Tesla
love
also built
Tesla's
the
names.
yeah
Optimus, Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. But no, I think it's really cool. What I thought was interesting is the founder figure, Brett Adcock. He basically mentions it's like, all right, one of the biggest problems that we're having right now in humanity is that the birth rate is lower than replacement rate, which is 2.2 per household. So we have less people who going into the workforce. So you actually need people to replace them, right? So and
You need
now that
robots to replace them. Yeah.
exactly, I mean, nobody, those people who go into work like us, the next generation, they don't want to work in a factory. They don't want to work in a, but maybe some, but most of them don't want to do these jobs. I mean, like in Germany, please tell the audience, like, what is the biggest issue that we're having right now with middle class jobs?
Well, we're facing a lot of issues, but in Germany, all right. So Germany is a big middle class country that's also driven by a lot of people that work with their hands, like blue collar jobs. And one of these are, for example, painters. Painters are always needed in Germany, construction in general. And these jobs are getting less and less people that want to do the job. And also then more like less and less people who have a, it's called a Meister. Basically, it's a certificate and like a master's, but it's not, you don't have to study. Certificate that is awarded to you based on the trade that you learned. And with that, you can actually have your own company and get offers or jobs done. Without
Well,
that, it's illegal to do.
technically you are studying, right? It's like I think 6 months or six
Yeah,
months
but it's
to a
not
year if you go
university.
full time.
It's not
It's not
university though.
exactly. It's not a university. It's more about how to run a business, etc. And in Germany, to for example, if you want to have a well, like a what is it called? Like a well, basically running a company of painters, you need to have that title. Without it, you're not allowed to have one, which makes it so. And these people are just like needed all across it. So
They earn more than white collar jobs
yeah, you
for
can
sure.
easily make like 5 6K a month, which is like really really good money. So yeah, that just like, and then coming back to humanoids, so at one point in time you can just like, well, replace them, right? Because like in the end somebody needs to do the job. Unless people want to do it, there will be the time when humanoids will be able to replace them. So that's why I'm seeing it. I think
Agree.
it's really really cool, and as well just being live right now there, like for example when Amazon just introduces it to their warehouses, even though you see them just like feels like a toddler just walking around. I mean, it's of course super super complex, but they're still in early stages. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next.
You know what I was just thinking about? Boston Robotics. I'm sure they're gonna have. Do you think they have a business site, or they're selling out, or they're licensing out their business or their robots? Because man, they're making a lot of progress, and I saw these Boston Robotics robots already jumping and do all the kind of stuff, dancing. So that's what I'm interested in finding out. Obviously,
And
they're not.
that's
What?
no no, go ahead. Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea for sure.
Because I mean, I'm guessing Boston Robotics is a for profit at least, or maybe
I
non
mean,
profit. I
so
don't know.
Boston Robotics, how they make money is they sell these robots to various industries, including manufacturing, construction, utilities, agriculture, and research institutions. So that's how they make money. But I'm not sure how big
Sorry, they're
their
called Boston Dynamics. I always say
dynamics, yeah,
robotics. Yeah,
dynamics, yeah. So interesting to see, but I'm not. Maybe they put something in the race, right? But it's also completely different if you are having a robot that can just like perfectly climb stairs. Well, I mean, you need all of it, right? So interesting concept. They probably they probably might license it to other robotic companies, right?
yeah. I mean, it's just about the software end of the day, right? The At some point you can build the hardware; it won't be the problem. But the software, they're learning these skills is what's really hard. I'm guessing. Don't get me wrong, battery powered, etc. It's also really hard because otherwise they have wires, and if you have wires, you fuck shit up. So
Yeah. I mean, in general, we'll see. I mean, we've seen a lot of big changes in the battery industry. They're lasting way longer. I mean, cars as well, right? The 20 years ago, the range was super garbage, and now yeah, you can go like on one charge if the weather conditions are good, right? 400 kilometers, 500, so 300 miles, 400.
yeah, I mean, for people to understand or who don't know about electric cars and batteries in general, so these batteries are really good for regular temperatures, but they, in extreme cases, they are not functioning properly. That means extremes, I think, below -15 and above 30, they have lower capacity and they don't work properly. So these are the extreme cases where it does not make sense to have an electric car and it's not very reliable. Because what do you have? Did you look up the numbers?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, in general, in heat and cold, but doesn't say exactly which numbers. Let me.
Well, anyways, so that's the problem. It's just like one of these things that is not kind of cool, but in these kind of situations, I guess factories, they're usually not crazy. They can be warm, I guess, but that shouldn't be a problem because there's no sunlight that heats up the robots further. That's the biggest problem because these batteries, they heat up crazy.
Yeah.
That's why you have these Teslas that start exploding or whatever.
All right, Mark, do you have another topic?
No, for now I don't have one. I think that's it, bro.
All right,
I
just
like
to
it.
sum it up, I believe, I mean, the humanoids is the same as like a mega trend with AI. So it's just like the physical part of it, and the combination of the two will bring huge changes. Might be a little bit scary, but I think in general will be super super cool. I mean, who doesn't want to have somebody who just does all the laundry for him at home? Or, for example, might be a fireman, right? Who knows? That can just like go in there, save people. So it will be so many jobs that will, but right now, super risky or not. Well, that the human probably doesn't want to do any longer will be taken over by humanoids or working in warehouses. And yeah, there will be in the next 10 to 15 years a company which will probably be one of the like most valued companies in the world will be coming out of humanoids. May it be for production, etc. That just
All right. I want to put out a viral hook. I want to a viral hook. All right. This one is for all the wannabe investors out there. All right. If you thought Nvidia is already big, is big and making big moves, then think about AMD as an investment. Because in the past, AMD has made big moves and they have already caught up so many times to the big green. So I think you should be listening and subscribe.
AMD is for sure making this move as well. They've always been, especially for gamers. They came back with CPUs. I'm sure they're working on AI GPUs as well. And yeah, with this, I would say this is the pot and catch you in the next one.
Let's
Peace.
Peace.